or defensive coach that got brought in there a while back hasn't made the trip at all. He's come down with a different team. You've said today privately, and you're quite open about it, you don't want any excuses come Sunday, June the 5th.
Yeah, look, at the end of the...
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, what you're getting ready to listen to is the voice of undefeated, newly crowned, unified lightweight world champion, Australian star boxer, George Kambosos Jr., who is 20 wins, no loss, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout. He is 28 years of age, 5'9" with a 68-inch arm reach. With that said, he's going to take on, and he's scheduled to take on, undefeated WBC lightweight world champion, superstar boxer, Devin the Dream Haney, who is 27 wins, no losses, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout. He is 23 years of age, 5'9", with a 72-inch arm reach. With that said, the fight is scheduled to take place next Saturday, June 4th in the United States, June 5th in Australia. We know now that Devin Haney's half of his team is not going to be able to go. Ben Davison, and more importantly, his father, trainer, manager, and CEO of DHP, Devin Haney Promotions, Bill Haney, is not going to be able to make the trip. So what you're going to hear is George Kambosos Jr. say that he don't want to hear any excuses. And when he got word of this taking place, that he reached out to a few people to see if they could pull some strings, but they was unable to pull any strings, and it's just simply not his fault. It's not his problem. And so he says that, but he still don't want to hear no excuses, okay? Which is interesting. He's going to say that, he's not the president or the government or whatever may have you. And he says that, he don't make the decisions, but he reached out to a few people to help get this overturned, to help Bill make his way to Australia so that there can't be any excuses should he beat Devin Haney, okay? So let's listen to what George Kambosos had to say.
Hey, I'm not the Prime Minister of Australia, whatever.
He said, I'm not the Prime Minister of Australia, okay? I don't control anything.
Problems, they can't get in. That's on them. I'm a fighter. I'm here.
So he said, that's on them. I'm a fighter. And then he's going to go into how he's given Devin Haney the opportunity, and that he's given Devin Haney millions upon millions of dollars, which we know is completely not true, because top-ranked CEO and promoter Bob Arum, legendary promoter, ESPN, and Top Rank have signed Devin Haney to a massive deal. And we know that Devin Haney has been making far more money than George Kambosos Jr. in his career. It's not even close. In all actuality, George Kambosos Jr. in his last fight with Teofimo Lopez made his biggest purse yet to date, okay? And it wasn't that big of a purse. So we know that he and Teofimo Lopez went to a purse bid, in which Bob Arum, ESPN, and Top Rank, they bid $2.3 million. Eddie Hearn and Matchroom CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn and DAZN, they bid $3.2 million. And then Triller came in and bid a whopping $6 million, okay? Well, we know Triller fell out. And so it went to the next highest bidder, which was Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, and DAZN, and they bid $3.2 million, which Teofimo Lopez, he got the bigger share of the pie, okay? So Teofimo Lopez, he got $2 million from this fight. So George Kambosos Jr. received $1.3 million for this fight, okay? $1.2 million, excuse me, because the bid was 3.2. So Teofimo got $2 million, he got $1.2 million. Devin Haney in his last fight, when he took on former IBF super featherweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer Joseph Jojo Diaz, he got $5 million for that fight. So if Devin Haney got $5 million to fight Joseph Jojo Diaz, and he got George Kambosos, that is $1.2 million, how is he giving Devin Haney the opportunity and giving Devin Haney millions upon millions of dollars? No, he's giving you the millions upon millions of dollars. And as far as him giving Devin Haney the opportunity, no, you didn't give Devin Haney the opportunity. You was forced into this opportunity because you initially wanted to fight two-time Olympic gold medalist, 3-division world champion, former unified lightweight world champion, Ukrainian superstar boxer, Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko. But that fell through because Lomachenko decided to stay 10 toes down on his Ukrainian soil, defending it in their unfortunate situation dealing with Russia. So he stayed in Ukraine. He's not available. So then you had to go with Devin Haney because, like Bob Arum said, because he's with Lou DiBella, and Lou DiBella doesn't have a network in which to showcase his fighters on. That's a constant and consistent one. So his fighters go here, there, and here, and there. So they don't have a consistent network in which to showcase their talent. So they were attempting to get it with ESPN and Top Rank. But Bob Arum, he let them know, since Vasyl Lomachenko, who's a Top Rank and ESPN fighter, is not available, well, then they would have to go with a Devin Haney fight, or they were out of the running. And so they had no interest in putting up big money for no other fight but George Kambosos versus Devin Haney, if not Lomachenko, or they was out. So where George Kambosos Jr. is stating that he giving Devin Haney the opportunity is completely false. He's very delusional. But listen.
Your shot. I picked you to get this opportunity.
I picked you to get this opportunity. No, you didn't. You wanted to pick Vasyl Lomachenko, and you was forced into this fight.
Giving you millions of dollars to fight.
There you go, giving you millions and millions of dollars. How are you giving him millions of dollars when he's made more than you 3 fights ago? You made your highest payday against Teofimo Lopez as the B-side for $1.2 million.
So at the end of the day, that's their problem, not my worry. I've actually reached out to a few people a couple of days ago, trying to help the situation. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So we're so zoned in, we don't care about that.
You see, he said, so I reached out to a couple of people, and unfortunately, it didn't work out, right? But I thought Australia is your turf. That's your soil. The down under. You run Australia. Clearly, you don't.
My worry. I've actually reached out to a few people a couple of days ago, trying to help the situation. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So we're so zoned in, we don't care about that. That's on him, his team. And I just look forward to the best Devin Haney possible, because I know the best ferocious Cambosos is rocking up June 5th. I just hope the best version of him rocks up, and I hope there's no excuses, because I feel there will be many excuses.
You really do?
Like there was with Teofimo Lopez, like there was with all these other guys that I've beat. There will be excuses, but I want to take it like a man when I do my business.
So we know that initially George Kambosos Jr. is on record stating that after he beat Teofimo Lopez, who was the unified champion, and the fight that everybody wanted to see was Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney for Undisputed. And he upset Teofimo Lopez, in which he stated that he knew he had to go through Devin Haney to be undisputed. Well, then shortly thereafter, he posted on his social media that he was the undisputed lightweight world champion, although history doesn't acknowledge that. They don't represent that. They don't acknowledge it. And so with that said, okay, we know that George Kambosos Jr. initially stated that he wanted to fight Devin Haney, and he showed up to Devin Haney and Joseph Diaz fight. But then his tune started to change, and he started to contradict himself. And the fight that he wanted was to fight Lomachenko, okay? And so now he's saying that he's excited, and he's been waiting all his life for this opportunity to fight Devin Haney for Undisputed. And he even went on to say that Gervonta Tank Davis didn't know what he was talking about. This fight is for Undisputed. But initially you stated that you was already undisputed. There's only 7 undisputed champions in the history of sport of boxing to hold all 4 major sanction belts. And George Kambosos Jr. is not one of them. Number 1, you have Bernard Hopkins. Number 2, Jermaine Taylor, who beat Bernard Hopkins to become number 2. Number 3, you had Terrence Bud Crawford at junior welterweight. And number 4, you had Oleksandr Usyk at cruiserweight. And number 5, you had Josh Taylor at junior welterweight once again. And 6, you have most recently Saul Canelo Alvarez at super middleweight. And the most recently, you have at number 7, Jamel Lyons Only Charlo, who just beat Brian Castano last weekend to become the 7th undisputed champion in the history of sport of boxing. So if it hold true that he was undisputed, then he would be ahead of Canelo Alvarez, and he would be ahead of Jamel Charlo. But he's not on the list at all whatsoever. History doesn't acknowledge it, and so he has to go through why? Devin Haney, who's the WBC lightweight world champion. Period. Nobody recognizes or acknowledges the franchise title, who there's only been 2 official franchise champions in the history of sport of boxing, and that's Lomachenko and Canelo Alvarez. because initially they stated you cannot win or lose the franchise title. It was an acknowledgement of your past accomplishments. It cannot pass from one fighter to another. But then they decided to change the rules and say, well, Teofimo Lopez is franchise. And then George Kambosos became franchise once he beat Teofimo Lopez and Teofimo Lopez beat Lomachenko. Well, we know what the truth is, period. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.